time now for our Ask the Chief segment, where we sit down with Knoxville Police Chief Paul Noel. We have a number of topics we want to talk about today. Thanks for being here, Chief. Of course, we need to start out with the news that came of one of your officers, Adam Barnett, being arrested on suspicion of a domestic violence incident. This happened in Sevier County, but what can you tell us about what you know? Sure.
So first of all, it's behavior we certainly don't tolerate. This is something we just found out about. And also add, as soon as we found out about this behavior in Sevier County, we notified the public, we notified you all, but it's going to go through a process. Obviously, he was arrested in Sevier County and he was being investigated by our Office of Professional Standards, and disciplinary action will follow if appropriate.
We did request some documents and information from the Sheriff's Office in Sevier County to find out a little bit more about exactly what happened. Is there anything you are able to share? I know it's not your case.
Yeah, the only thing I'll share is he was arrested in Sevier County as a result of an investigation they conducted. Everything else, the facts of that case, really need to come out of Sevier County.
And what we also requested from you today was his personnel file, and we looked through it briefly and found out that he has had a number of incidents in the past, going back to a similar call for a domestic violence incident, but also some reprimands and also being placed on leave. One thing that we've reported is his connection with the Lisa Edwards case, a woman who fell ill while in police custody and later died at the hospital. Given this history, what is the future of this officer with your department?
So this officer is going to go through a disciplinary process just like everybody else, right? So each incident stands on its own. We certainly look at patterns of behavior, but in this case, we will investigate this incident. It will also go through the court process up in Sevier County, and the Office of Professional Standards will conduct an investigation that will give me recommendations, and if appropriate, we'll have a disciplinary hearing and they'll be disciplined if appropriate.
And so there are almost three separate things happening with the Office of Professional Standards, and then also with a criminal investigation, and then also an internal investigation, or are those sort of combined?
So Office of Professional Standards is the internal investigation, but the criminal case will run parallel, right? So it's really two separate instances, two separate processes.
And that, of course, you'll let play out. And will the criminal case affect how things happen with the internal case?
It may, but each case can stand on its own as well.
And what is the current status of the officer?
So he is on administrative leave at this point. He's not back to work yet. When he does come back, he will be on administrative reassignment. His police powers have been taken away, and he will go through the process, and the process will be, the results of that will be what OPS recommends.
And then one quick question before we move on, with pay or without pay?
Right now, he is not at work, but when he will, once he's released from jail, he will at some point come back to work and he'll be paid at that point. But with no police powers, he'll be off the street. All
right, let's move on and talk about some of the crime stats, which are down this year compared to last year. So let's highlight some of those.
Down significantly. We trended down in almost every way, as you can see up on the screen here. Murders are down 29%. That's down almost for the last 3 years since we've been here. The last 3 years, murders and non-fatal shootings are trending down. Robberies are down significantly as well. Vehicle theft is something we've worked really closely on as well. That's trending down significantly. Pretty much everything that we have worked really hard on is trended down.
And do you attribute that to anything specifically, rather?
Look, first of all, the men and women in Knoxville Police Department are doing a really good job, but we also work really in coordination with the city, the Mayor's Office of Community Safety, and we work really closely with the community as well. Murder, shooting, robbery, we need the help from the public. Those detectives don't have a crystal ball. Public's giving us a lot of good information. We also had that murder on the interstate involving
the three guys from Detroit.
Detroit. We solved that case pretty quickly. I didn't really think that we'd be able to solve that case. They solved that case really quickly. They're doing a really good job.
And then before we let you go, one quick note. Of course, we want those crime stats to stay down. It's the holiday season. Things can happen. Any best piece of advice for folks about keeping their packages and themselves safe this season?
The biggest thing, other than these packages right underneath me at this tree, that are safe. But look, porch pirates are a real deal now, right? So if you're getting something delivered, try to, either set it up where it's delivered to your neighbor if you're not going to be home, or if you can, if your workplace allows it. I don't know if you all can here, Brittany, get the packages sent to work, where there'll always be somebody there. Because if not, those people are really looking around to steal those packages.
All right, Chief, thank you so much for your time. As always, we appreciate it. And I guess happy holidays. We haven't mentioned the large tree here behind us. Next time we see you, it'll be the beginning of next year.
Christmas is here.
That's right. Well,